We are live.
Welcome, everybody. This is day 2 of the NRA Annual Meeting. Matt Mallory and I are here at the Voices of the Second Amendment booth, or actually the Voices of the Second Amendment area at the Meet the Pressers Gun Freedom Radio stage of Liberty, Studio Liberty. And we have a very special guest this morning who also has a booth here.
Yeah, right down the road.
Charlie Cook.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Always good to see you guys.
How you doing, brother?
Thank you.
It's good to hang out with you.
It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And to give a little bit of reminisce of our old times, I threw our both of our logos up there in the top right corner.
Retro.
The retro. Bringing it back to the old days.
Oh my gosh!
So,
What did I do recently? I did. Yeah, I can't talk about that. Never mind.
You can't talk about that.
It's top secret squirrel
It's
shit.
classified information. I have to kill both of us.
Well, for those of you that don't know, there was a little hiatus that Clint couldn't be on the show, and we didn't want to let it go, right?
Yeah.
And we brought Charlie on, and Charlie and I were doing a collaborative show, and we had some guest co-hosts come on, and Clint's stead. Yeah. And,
Yeah, during my hiatus.
your hiatus.
I didn't leave the show. I was just more behind the camera.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Yeah.
Which you still are. You're in front of the camera and behind the camera, doing
I'm
all the great.
all over the camera, actually. I was on each side of it this
To be
morning.
taken many ways. Anyway, so what's new, Charlie?
Nothing.
Nothing's new?
Nothing. Just plugging away.
You're just here?
Doing all this stuff. I love that. I never imagined. I never imagined going to these things. And then you start going, you're like, I got to go to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to way more than I go. I'm like, it's going to that one too.
I'm just trying to keep up, man. I'm just trying to keep up.
Keep
I know.
up with you.
I go to Great American. I go to SHOT Show. I go to this. I go to GRPC.
That's just those 4.
It seems like just those 4. Just those 4.
Yeah. It's a lot more than just 4.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. But it's always great to come to these, and it's always nonstop and on the go all the time.
It is.
And it's great.
Nobody understands until they actually come to it, because you're going to a show. Like, what are you going to do? Not like going to the fair where you go here and there. You go to you want to cover as much base as you can because it's expensive to come all the way out here.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you have some people that are like, hey, could you go check out this for me? I want to find out more about this. Let me know what you think about that. I'm like, dude, I don't know where that is. I don't have time. I don't know when I can fit it in.
Yeah, we're literally back to back with appointments.
Yeah.
And for this interview to happen right now is amazing because I'm busy, he's busy, you're busy, and we're all over the place. That's what NRA Annual Meeting is all about.
Absolutely.
It is.
How many times do you get stopped on your way down from the media room down to here?
Oh my gosh! I had to go to the bathroom yesterday. I got stopped 3 times.
There you go. Wait,
Charlie!
in the bathroom. Hey, what are you doing?
Take a wild guess.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. We went to a cryptid show about cryptids in Ohio, and my son Augie has his show, Cryptid Creatures, on YouTube. And we were there looking around, and someone came over and said, Augie, back there, how are you doing? That was kind of a real proud dad moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So how's training in Massachusetts?
Yeah,
It's too early to start drinking, isn't it?
It's a volatile subject right now.
It is. So we have a year and a half ago, we had this new law, and it required live fire, written exam, injury prevention, suicide prevention, and disengagement training. And the state had a year and a half to get their stuff together.
That sounds like New York.
It was one of these things where, like, we're going to pass this in 3 months. It kicks in. And then 3 weeks before the 3 months were up, the governor assigned an emergency preamble, which made it go into effect right away.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they went and they said, hey, we need a year and a half to figure out what we're going to do about the training. And then 18 months. 17 months into it, they're like, all right, about that training you guys are doing, send us the curriculum you guys are teaching, and we'll see if we can improve it.
Wow.
And the 25-question test that we said we were going to do, send us the test you want to give, and see if we can improve this. And the live fire that you want to do, send us what you're doing. Like, they did nothing.
Sounds exactly like New York.
Oh,
exactly
man.
like concealed carry improvement.
We had 29 approved courses, and at the end of March, they whittled it down to 7 classes. One of them was in a debacle, as we were talking about. And we can still do NRA home firearm safety. We have to add a 16-page PDF on suicide.
Now, all that was prepared and put together by John Green and the folks over at Gold, correct?
No, I don't think the suicide prevention was. I'm going to say the suicide prevention was put on by the state. You guys ready for this? I think we talked about this. There's a slide on the suicide prevention that talks about pesticides and Sri Lanka.
So they freaking chat GPT or copied it from somewhere. Like what?
Right, Sri Lanka. Pesticides and suicide, and pesticides in Sri Lanka. In the 1990s, allegedly, according to the state police and the people that wanted to do this, they said in the 1990s, people in Sri Lanka were committing suicide with human toxic pesticides. So I guess they're ingesting pesticides to commit suicide. Right?
I think that's important for anyone wanting to exercise the Second Amendment right to know about that.
Uno momento, por favor. Here's the way they're doing this. Once the human toxic pesticides were illegal in Sri Lanka, suicide by human toxic pesticides dropped 50%.
Oh, that's the angle.
Right? Yeah. So if you are, their angle is, the reason they bring this up is because if you have a gun, you're more likely to commit suicide with a gun. And if you have human toxic pesticide, you're more likely to use human toxic pesticide to commit suicide.
Yeah, I think what I've found often looking at a lot of states that have state mandatory training where the state provides materials or mandates particular subjects to be taught, ultimately the instructor teaches a class to new gun owners that teaches them how they're going to get arrested because they're new gun owners.
Right.
That's pretty much what the class is. It generally has nothing to do with safety. It has nothing to do with protecting one another, knowing the laws of use of force even. It's in there. It's just a bullet point where you read a statute and, with the squiggly lines and stuff on it, that means nothing to most people unless you dissect it. And unfortunately, when it's presented that way, and that's the way a lot of instructors do it because you don't want to get the words wrong. So there's a liability issue there as an instructor that's not a legal expert. You can't really get too deep in the weeds on interpreting the law because, again, interpretation is
subjective.
Your interpretation, my interpretation could be very different, and it doesn't mean it's going to be the interpretation the judge or the jury has.
For sure.
So you just read these mundane blah, blah, blah. So the most important stuff is just almost glossed over or given to someone in a pamphlet. And the rest is, here's how you're going to get arrested with this gun, and here's how you're going to get arrested with this gun, and here's...
It's nuts. It's nuts. So the de-escalation, right? De-escalation is what the Commonwealth of Massachusetts called it. Of course, everywhere else it's disengagement. It's disengagement in Massachusetts. De-escalation everywhere else. Sorry about that. Then that ended up turning into a 6-slide PowerPoint that they called use of force.
Oh. Right.
And I'm like, so they gave that to us. They gave us the suicide prevention 16-page PDF, and that is what we have to give students when we teach the class. But we can now teach home firearm safety or basic pistol, along with some of the other classes that we used to use.
So Dave Moulthrop says we can't say the word Sue.
Oh,
it died unalive.
All right. So
he's our police.
Gotcha.
He's checking it for us.
We apologize.
Yeah. Well,
so
we'll see if we can.
Yeah.
See how that goes. Good to know.
So anyway,
it's like dealing with the state, dealing with these guys.
So anyway, they
okay, I get it. I'm sorry, it took me a minute to process.
What word we're trying to say?
It is early.
Yeah, for sure. Not enough coffee.
The thought police and the word police.
So that's kind of where we're at now. The state didn't. They want to mandate the live fire, but they don't know what they want, so they suspended that. And it was a year and a half of a kerfuffle. And coming out of this, they're like, here, give them this on this topic, and give them this on this topic, and you can still do what you were doing before.
The Wild West era will kind of smooth itself out. There are other organizations that have some curriculum pending that will cover the essence of what the state wants, but will have tremendous value. So the people that leave that class will actually leave with some really good education.
Yeah, this will be really good. And the crazy thing is, like, there were, myself included, there were people that were like, hey, you should take a class now because you're postponing doing this extra training that you have to do. And now the extra training is just something, it seems like something you just go through in class and give them a handout.
So for that year and a half, it was training on a pause. They paused the Second Amendment?
No, they did not.
Okay.
What they did was they said if you don't have your license to carry or firearm identification card before August 1st of 2024, if you have it before, you're grandfathered in. You don't have to take this training. From August 1st of 24 till April 2nd of 26, that was the time period that when you renew your license, you'll have to go through the new training. So I love it. We trust you for 6 years, but after that, you got to go back and learn how to how to do all this
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, obviously, as educators, we endorse people getting training. Like, I really want people to do that.
Government
But
mandating
for the
it.
state to mandate that hurdle to make it one more step for someone to exercise a God-given right is
Absolutely
really
right.
an issue. But that's the case in many states.
Yeah.
So I think, not to stop you there, but to make sure that we're clear on this, the problems that you guys deal with in Mass
territory.
and
New
New York, they happened because not enough gun owners voted.
That's
At a
Oh, my
certain
God,
time.
absolutely.
There was one election somewhere where not enough people got out and voted, and the anti-gun forces took power. And I can say specifically in Pennsylvania, we got a midterm coming up, and if we lose just a few Senate seats, we will very likely be as bad or worse in these states in Virginia in the coming years. So make sure you are, as a gun owner, you register to vote, you get your friends to vote. Those that can't make it to the poll, if your state does it, get them a mail-in ballot. Pick people up on voting day and drive them there, but we have to come out and force as gun owners and vote for pro-gun candidates. And organizations like Goal, they can help advise you who is a pro-gun candidate. Firearms Owners Against Crime in Pennsylvania. The ILA, NRA ILA, has a list of pro-gun
SERPA in New York.
does. So there's a lot of resources out there to really get to know who is pro-gun and who isn't.
Yeah. So this is interesting. We had the ballot initiative. There were some people that got a ballot initiative together to repeal the law. They needed 50,000 signatures. They got 100,000 signatures. Yeah, they got 100,000 signatures.
Okay.
But there's 660,000 licensed gun owners in Massachusetts.
Right.
So we're like 1/6 of the people
Right.
signed this thing, and it affects all of them.
That's like New York. We have 5 million gun owners in New York State. We had 3 million people vote against Hitler Hopel back, a few years back. And I'm like, so 5 million gun owners, and we got 3 million, which clearly are not all gun owners, that voted against her. And then 2 months later, they after they passed the Concealed Carry Improvement Act in September, November was the election. I'm thinking she ain't going to win. After they do this, 18 hours of training, most in the country, right? All the same stuff you mentioned. Totally a debacle on the whole training aspect. They were saying, we're going to create the curriculum, and dropped it on us last minute. Like, oh no, August. It goes into effect September. Then August, they go, oh yeah, you just teach whatever. You got to follow these bullet points.
It's ridiculous. I did I went through the process to get a New Jersey FID card and a permit to carry.
Yeah.
It cost me about $625. And for $50, I had to sit through the PowerPoint. They showed you how to load and unload a top break revolver. You know those old pictures?
Yeah, I got one.
You know the pictures that they have
Yeah.
No, like the old pictures you see with the diagrams from like the late 1800s that are it's like
Yeah,
that's the picture they use.
Oh, nice.
It's got all the letters pointing to the different parts. You're like, where did they get this out of
That's
my
kind of
history?
cool. I have an intuitive defensive cap and ball class. Maybe they might adopt that as mandatory training. Now that would be something else.
It's only if you do it from a horse.
A horse.
Oh my god!
Okay, great.
I was going to say the live fire. I've got mixed feelings on the live fire stuff. Right? Yes, you should know how to shoot. Yes, you should be responsible. You hit your intended target. All that stuff. However, if they just want people to shoot, that seems ridiculous. And then I swing right to the other side. I'm like, if it's going to be live fire, I'm like, let's make it the FBI qualification and let us carry every place the FBI carries.
That's a neat argument. That'll never fly.
That'll be the
I know,
upgrade.
but
I understand where you're with.
Yeah, for sure.
right, like if I passed a background check and I'm proficient with the FBI.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at other states where there is no mandatory training or it's constitutional carry, there is no data anywhere that I'm aware of that says that the people from those states are less safe or more dangerous than the places that have mandatory training.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a little bit the opposite, and that's probably because of population more than anything. In the states where there's mandatory training, there's higher population. You get more people in a room. One of them's going to be a bad day. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, in New York, it's 12 feet, 4 out of 5 rounds in a huge ass box.
Yeah, Maryland is pretty much anywhere on the silhouette, and the silhouette they use almost takes up the entire
27
2 by 3 Fisher. Yeah.
So I'll be out at Bill Dolphy's supposed to be to do the New York 18-hour class.
Oh,
in
very
July.
Good. Bill's good people. Man.
Yep.
Yeah, Bill is good.
So when I went through the NRA.
Bill, how you doing?
We call him the Dal.
The Dolph. Yep.
Yeah.
He's got those really cool 3-dimensional cardboard
Yes,
targets.
he does. Yes, Target companies.
So the problem I think with most people when they look at things with politics, it's kind of like personal defense. They deny. Grossman talks about denial kills in many ways, and they deny that it could ever happen to us.
Yep.
But we have to protect ourselves from criminals, and most of us do that by arming ourselves and exercise Second Amendment. We have to protect ourselves from elected officials too. And we do that by voting, getting in their face, or not necessarily getting in their face, making sure they know who you are, know what you're about, communicate with them, and educate them on what you're about, why the Second Amendment is important. And if they don't seem receptive to that, then get them out of office by voting them out.
Boxes of Liberty.
So I found this out. Tarring and feathering doesn't actually kill people.
Really?
Yes, it doesn't. Just makes it hard for the skin to breathe.
So it's
Very
it's a non-lethal.
It's non-lethal. It's very painful, but non-lethal.
Huh.
So
And then you'd be able to ID them, just walks like a duck, talks like.
Looks like a chicken. Looks like a chicken.
So what's next for you after NRA Annual Meeting?
I'm happy to talk about this. The May 30th in Chicopee, Massachusetts, the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms is putting on this thing they're calling the New England Firearm Advocacy Conference.
Okay.
And yours truly gets to be the MC for this.
Nice.
Michael Schwartz from Gun Owners Radio is coming out.
Yep.
Amanda Suffolk and Rob Campbell from Eye on the Target Radio are coming out. And the keynote speaker is one Grand Thumb.
Really?
Yes.
Very cool.
And this is
Grand Thumb.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going
so
to be
he's
giving
gonna
him
be
a ride
coming
in the stagecoach?
out. I don't know. I'd love to set
Yeah,
that up.
he's a hard one to connect to.
Right. I don't know how to connect.
He's elusive.
So
I'll be up there. I'll be attending officially as Clint Macro Regional Training Manager of USCCA.
Very
When is this?
May 30th.
I need to look at my calendar.
Yeah, it's a whopping $25 to get in, and
It gives you a year membership.
and it gives you a year membership to the CCR KBA. The CCR and KBA and the SAF, the Second Amendment Foundation, I know they're run by a lot of the same folks.
It's
But
kind of a sister organization.
it is. They're not the same group, but they are sister organizations.
New Germany instead of New Jersey.
Germany. Oh, I love it.
Brian Barr. Hey, Brian. Good to see you, sir.
That's awesome. So so I got that coming up, and then in September, I'm the chairperson for the AMCON, the Alternative Multimedia Conference.
Okay.
That's going to be the day before the Gun Rights Policy Conference in Dallas.
Right
down
down
the
in
road
Dallas.
from here. They're doing it in
Hasn't
Dallas.
it been in California?
I was in California 2 years
Oh,
ago.
where was it?
Last year in 25, it was in Salt Lake City.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to be back
It's
in
kind
Dallas
of
this year.
coming around.
Yes.
So in 2 or 3 years, it'll be up in New York.
Sure. I love it.
At a Holiday Inn in
Yeah.
Schenectady.
They leave the lights on for us.
Probably.
Anyway, probably.
Not all the lights. Anyway, so that's coming up as well. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Very cool.
And other than that, just keeping up, offering classes, trying to offer more classes to people.
More options.
I'm finally coming around. I don't want to say I'm finally coming around, but I'm finally coming around to the USCCA stuff as people get their license and then get some extra training and.
It gives instructors a great deal of material to
Absolutely.
continue on, do ongoing training.
It's the hard thing, of course, is selling people that they don't know what they don't know, and
Yeah, absolutely.
getting the license. And
Matter of fact, in my seminar I'm doing for the instructor symposium here, I have a slide on Donald Rumsfeld and the known knowns and the unknown unknowns. And what we need to do as instructors is make people realize that there are unknown unknowns, make them a known unknown, and then get into another class so they become a known known.
Yep.
there we go.
Yeah.
Dig it.
And on that known, unknown, known.
No!
How can people check you out and stalk you?
Stalk me. Riding Shotgun with Charlie is where you can find the YouTube channel. It's on YouTube. It's on Rumble. It's on all the podcast outlets. You can find the show on AmmoLand News. You can find articles I write on News 2A. And you can also check out Armed Lifestyle Magazine. I have a column there called Writing Shotgun with Charlie.
Nice.
And I people I've had on the show and write a 2,000 more article.
Is your booth here today called Sitting Shotgun with Charlie? Or do you have wheels on the table?
Yeah, I got wheels on the
Oh, that's pretty cool.
There you go. There you go. Cool. Always
Listen.
awesome to have you on.
Thank you guys for
Hanging
having me.
out
It's
with you,
always a
man.
pleasure.
Cool.
Appreciate it very much.
Hey, check them out and give them your viewership. Yeah, there you go. Hey, we'll be back in a little bit with another fine guest.
Easy.